Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, Noble Corporation plc filed its current report, and I am seeing a few key takeaways from their shareholder meeting results. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company held its annual shareholder meeting, and the results show strong support for the board and auditor appointments. But some resolutions had a surprising number of votes against them. This report is all about the Noble Corporation plc's annual general meeting held on the 29th of April 2026. Think of it as the yearly check, in where shareholders get to vote on important company matters. Noble Corporation plc is the company we are looking at today. It is a big player in the energy sector, specifically in offshore drilling services. Now, when it comes to the actual voting, they talked about a few different things. The shareholders voted on electing directors to the board. For example, Eric Berg was up for re-election. The results show a whopping 135694312 votes in favour, with only 54,883 votes against. That is a huge margin of approval, meaning most shareholders are happy with the leadership. Similar to Eric Berg, Patrice Douglas was also re-elected. She got 135,694,034 votes for her, and only 55,671 against. Again, massive support, so it seems the majority of shareholders have confidence in the current board members. Robert W. Eifler was another director re-elected with very strong support, over 135 million votes in favour, a very small number against. This level of agreement usually means the company is seen as stable and well managed by its investors at this time. Clausby Hemmingson also got a strong vote of confidence. However, looking at the numbers for Clausby Hemmingson, there were 197,777 votes against. While still a majority in favour, that is a significantly larger number of against votes compared to some of the other directors. This could signal some shareholder concerns or a difference of opinion on specific strategies or performance related to this director. Alan J. Hirschberg also saw a larger number of dissenting votes with 1,167,558 votes against him. Like with Clausby Hemmingson, this indicates not everyone is fully in alignment with this director's position or the company's direction under their watch. H. Keith Jennings was re-elected with overwhelming support, very few votes against. This aligns with the majority of the board members, showing broad shareholder approval for most of the candidates. Charles M. Sledge faced a notable number of votes against with 4,092,369. This is the highest number of dissenting votes we've seen for a director election. It is worth paying attention to why a significant portion of shareholders might be hesitant about this particular board member. Beyond director elections, the company also needed shareholder approval for their auditors. PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP was ratified as the independent registered public accounting firm for fiscal year 2026. The vote here was overwhelmingly in favour, with 133395653 votes for. However, there were 7720864 votes against this appointment. That is a substantial number of votes against the auditor, which usually means shareholders might have concerns about the accounting practices or the firm's independence. Similarly, the reappointment of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP as the UK statutory auditors also passed. But again, a considerable number of votes, 7739654, were against it. This repeated pattern suggests a consistent group of shareholders questioning the choice of auditor. This next vote was about letting the audit committee decide how much to pay the company's UK statutory auditors. This passed with very strong support, over 140 million votes in favour. This suggests shareholders trust the audit committee to make fair decisions on auditor compensation. Now, this is often a closely watched vote, the say on pay. Shareholders voted on the compensation of the company's top executives. This was approved, but with a significant number of abstentions, 519086 to be exact. Abstentions can sometimes signal a lack of enthusiasm or a watch and see attitude from shareholders rather than outright disagreement. Following that, shareholders voted on the director's remuneration report, which is like a detailed breakdown of how executives are paid. This also passed, but again with a considerable amount of abstentions, 113,164. It looks like there is a theme of cautious approval, or perhaps a segment of shareholders who are not fully convinced by the current compensation structures. This vote was specifically on the director's remuneration policy itself. It was approved, showing that the overall approach to paying directors is generally accepted. Then there are votes related to share issuance. The resolution to authorise the board of directors to allot shares, meaning to issue new shares, was approved. However, this one had a surprisingly high number of votes against it, 26,241,026. This could indicate concerns about potential dilution of existing shareholders' stakes if the company decides to issue a lot of new stock. Similarly, the resolution to allot shares without preemption rights, meaning existing shareholders don't get the first chance to buy them, also passed, but with another large block of votes, 268-41561, against it. This strong opposition really highlights a segment of the shareholder base that is wary of the company's ability to issue shares without protecting the rights of current investors. Looking at these numbers broadly, Noble Corporation plc shareholder meeting shows a company generally supported by its investors, especially regarding board composition and auditor selection. However, the significant number of votes against certain directors, and especially against the share allotment resolutions, points to a vocal group of shareholders who are concerned about potential dilution and perhaps the compensation strategies. This is not an uncommon scenario for companies in the energy sector where market volatility and capital needs can lead to these kinds of debates. What I am actually looking for is how these larger against votes on share issuance will influence Noble's future capital raising strategies. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If you found this analysis helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more. Hit the Discord link in the description.